It's questioning and handling of the whole Jemele Hill situation, the suspension at ESPN for 2 weeks. We don't know whether paid or unpaid, but we do know, in the eyes of many, it's been deemed a kind of a slap on the wrist. She said horrendous things about President Trump just a few weeks back and didn't get any punishment for that, save a verbal reprimand, actually one that was tweeted out. So what does this mean to Campus Reform Media Director Cabot Phillips? Cabot, what do you think?
Well, this is a peculiar move. I mean, look, for Jemele Hill to go on air and say these things, she is deliberately driving consumers away from the very product that her company is trying to push. So the company here, they should have come out more strongly and given her a longer suspension. And look, if you were to go on air and tell your viewers politics is not that important for you to follow, don't keep up with the markets, I imagine there'd be some consequences for you as well. And it's the same concept here. She's deliberately driving consumers away from the product her company is promoting. And it's a kind of a peculiar move for them to come out and ban her and suspend her now, given the fact, who are they pleasing exactly? The people on the left who support Hill, they're angry that she's being suspended in the first place. They stood by her. And those on the right who are happy she's being suspended, they made up their mind about ESPN a long time ago and the liberal bias that they are putting out. And it's also interesting to point out the hypocrisy there from where conservative personalities at ESPN like Curt Schilling were outright fired the moment they put out any sort of conservative beliefs. But Hill is given a much longer leash. I think the American people, this is market forces at play, where ESPN is now realizing the American people, they're not on our side with this issue. They're much more on the side of President Trump and those that are supporting the flag and supporting the national anthem. And
I just think in any venue where you go after the people who feed and support you, your advertisers, without, good reason here, I mean, that's a slippery slope. So whatever my viewpoints on politics or the markets, to your example there, I cross another level when I say, don't honor our advertisers or boycott our advertisers, the lifeblood of any network or what have you. So certainly the guy who runs the network, in this case Bob Iger, to give a relatively muted punishment for that makes me wonder what's going on there. There'd been a great deal of talk that he might be entertaining a run for office someday, maybe even president someday. That might explain his rather tepid response here, not to stir the pot, but by being so tame in his response, he might have stirred it anyway.
Exactly. Look, if he had come out and strongly supported Jemele Hill and said, we're going to stand by her, we believe in these comments, he would have kept happy the people who are already happy with Jemele Hill, those on the left. But for him to come out, the only people he's pleasing are those on the right, again, who can't stand what's going on here. So it's almost like it's too little too late if he's trying to please those on the right, and it's crossing a line for trying to please those on the left. And if he is considering a political run, I think this just feeds into, again, the narrative of all these wealthy people seeing President Trump's success and getting elected and now thinking, wait a second, I have money, I have name recognition, maybe I could go and use my business experience to get elected. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see him running, although he has said he's going to step down in 2019 as CEO of Disney.
Quickly, your thoughts on using this as a weapon anyway, going after advertisers, boycotting these companies. I mean, we're already seeing a lot of pro-fan groups that want to boycott advertisers on ESPN and NFL games as a weapon. So ironically, using the same thing that, this broadcaster was recommending, but for different purposes. Bottom line, it would seem that ESPN and the NFL remain targets.
Absolutely, and the only thing that's going to really win this war is market forces, are the consumers themselves. They have the power here. And by seeing Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, send a letter to the owners telling the players they have to stand, by seeing this suspension from ESPN, I think one thing is clear. It's that President Trump is winning this culture war. The American people are on his side, and it would be foolish for any advertisers or people running corporations to continue to go against what the American people clearly want, clearly support. And it's their purchasing power is going to ultimately win this culture war.
That's very well put, Cabot. Real quickly, what do you think happens if the NFL owners rally around a plan apparently bandied about by the commissioner, to make standing up for the national anthem stick? You can do presumably whatever you want prior, but you better stand when the national anthem is played. Where do you think that's going to go?
The players don't have too much power here. If they really want, they can go play in Canada or play in the Arena Football League. I don't see that as a viable option. It's the NFL or bust for most of these guys when it comes to money, when it comes to notoriety. They don't have too many options, but I don't see the players really having too much power here. I think they're going to go with whatever the owners and whatever the people paying their salaries go with here.
All right. It's going to be interesting. Cabot, good seeing you again. Thank you very, very much. All right. You've probably been seeing these images coming out of California, 115,000 plus acres destroyed.